Alright, so last time when we were doing maintenance, we noticed that the bees were growing their comb together, and because of that we need to clean that up. Downside though to all that was the bees got angry when we started cutting into their combs, so I wasn't prepared for that, because usually these bees are pretty nice and they really haven't stung us until I cut into their comb that day. So I put on my astronaut suit today because I'm still gonna have to get in there and clean that up. So I'm gonna put on gloves, I'm all suited up, and hopefully we'll just be able to clean that up and not get stung so much, because I'm not very accustomed to being stung yet, so I swelled up pretty bad. When I got stung, if you look at my last video, there's some images of the stings that I took, and you'll get an idea of what I mean. Here I'm putting in a beetle trap, because that was one problem that I noticed, is we had I don't know if it would be necessarily a lot of hive beetles, but I was seeing some hive beetles, and it was just something I really just thought I should get ahead of before it becomes a big problem. Now, as far as this upper super goes, we gave it to them last inspection, and I'm going to just see how they're doing as far as development goes of that. They probably haven't built much. It's only been a week. It's always worth looking at, see what's going on there. I'm going to try to take up this feeder, which is pretty heavy, so I don't know how much they bothered to feed from the feeder. Yeah, the feeder's sloshing around here. Sorry if I'm coughing, it's I'm breathing my smoker. I could hear quite the roar down there, so I don't know what these bees are thinking. I don't know if they're upset or what, but and there's just a little development of wax there. You can barely see anything. This is on the end. But if I get closer to the center, that's where we might start seeing something more interesting. Well, there's almost nothing going on here on these frames. which is at least good to verify, but it would be good if they were starting to do something up here. Watch out, baby. Watch out, little bees. And my original thought was that what I'd do is put this super down over on these blocks, and then, oh yeah, let's pry that up, and then just see put the feeder on top, because I noticed that the bees in the feeder tend to stay in the feeder. And they seem not like they're not too interested in leaving either, so seems like the bees in the feeder just kind of want to stay where they're at. And this is the part where I got stung before, and it's because I had to separate comb, and I see a lot of that comb is kind of bridged together, so I don't mind getting 1 or 2 stings, because it would be good for me to develop some resistance to the stings. But last time I was completely unprepared. I've never been stung by these bees before, and I didn't know that they would even do such a thing. But I guess when you start cutting their comb, it's a little bit different story. It's kind of a threat to them. So also, my gloves have not been washed. I tried to take the stingers out and everything, but that attack pheromone or whatnot might still be present on my glove, and so who knows what's going to go on with that. This is pretty well propolised there. I'm going to pull up these outer frame here just to make room. Watch out. And I might have smashed a bee there and kind of angered her. This one's starting to get some comb that they're building there. Don't know how well that's picking up, but I'm going to put this one down and just get to work. I'm not trying to spend a lot of time. These combs, they don't seem to have bridged them together like they did before. And that's a good sign, because I don't want to be breaking apart their comb any more than I really have to, because like I said, when I started cutting into that comb, I'm not sure 100% sure what set them off, but I got a feeling that I might have killed some bees, and they probably didn't like that much. But here's what we're looking at there, and on this side I don't see the queen here, and I wouldn't expect her there. It'd be kind of weird, but just showing you the honeycomb they're building. There's a bee under this thing, but I'm going to try to let it down gently so we don't squish her. This trap is kicked up a little, so I'm just pulling this back just a little bit because I don't want it uplifted and really frustrating the bees. So here we go. Good job, baby. One thing I learned is that If a bee is in your way, you could just touch her and she'll move. Usually, I don't know. The brood is a little spotty on this side. Got honey coming up here. No queen as expected so far, because like I said, I wouldn't expect to really see her out here. It's not like it's impossible, but generally. Alright, so I'm just going to scoot this down back more here. Oops, I think a bee did sting that glove there, so that might be setting them off. Watch out, bee. Watch out, bee. Watch out, bee. Okay. So here's where I'll probably take some stings, because I gotta clean this stuff up here. And that is where they got mad at me last time when I was trying to cut comb. And they were not happy about that. I have my right forearm exposed because I don't want to entirely avoid stings and just never develop a resistance to them. Yeah, these bees want to sting me. They're banging off of me. What's up, babies? Sorry, baby. Oops. Right about now, I'm happy I'm wearing gloves because they actually seem pretty upset. No queen visible yet. Ciao, girls. Ooh, that was not good. They don't like those jarring things. I'm gonna give them a little smoke. And here's where that smoke's going to be very helpful, because I'm going to have to upset some bees here. This bridged up burr comb here isn't too ridiculous there, but a lot of people I've seen they're trying to sting my gloves. Yep, there's definitely stings in the gloves. But one thing I'm gonna have to do, whether you guys like it or not, is clean off Yeah, they're stinging like crazy on my gloves. I don't like making these bees angry on bees. I'm trying not to stab right through a bee, but it's not practical the way they stuck that stuff together. Oops, I got a little sting through the glove. Get some smoke here. And even on my hand. All right. Oops. I guess after today I'm gonna have to wash the gloves because definitely a lot of bees stinging my gloves. But now we gotta complete the rest of the mission. That stuff's cleaned up. I didn't see the queen. Her laying pattern actually doesn't look all that great, but it could just be the perception of it. Just kind of pushing this down and trying to wipe because the bees, with a little bit of pressure, they tend to move out of the way. These are the beetle traps. I'm putting them in empty right now, but I'm going to put some apple cider vinegar in them. And then I'm going to cap it off with a little bit of oil. And like I said before, I'm no beekeeping expert, but this is a pretty standard thing that a lot of beekeepers will advocate doing. I gotta redo that one. Oh, there we go. Watch out, babies. And maybe that's what I'll do for this one, is just pour it on the outside before I plug it in, because that one filled up a lot quicker than I was hoping. Then I ended up filling it to the max and couldn't do much about it. Yeah, doing this kind of stuff, it's definitely a good thing to be wearing gloves, because if that were my skin, I'd be in a hospital right now. Okay, girls. So all we're doing is just putting a thin layer of oil on top of the apple cider vinegar. These girls are not happy with me today because of all this craziness we're doing to them, but what can you do? Sorry girls, I'm not trying to kill you, but... And by the way, somebody, all you angry ladies, Well then. Well, now it's time to feed them. Okay. One thought is if I try to feed them with all these bees flying around, they might drown. So I think what I'll do is just let them settle down for a bit and then feed them maybe a couple. And I think that's it then. I'm just going to feed them once everyone settles down so that I don't have a bunch of bees flying into the syrup and drowning. For some reason, when I left my arm exposed, they didn't sting me yet on the arm. But if I would have had bare hands, I bet my hands would be so stung up that I couldn't even, I'd have a medical emergency. Alright, I guess that's it. Didn't like the way the queen's brood pattern looked, but I'm not sure if I was looking at that correct or if that's just kind of normal that it was starting to get a little spotty. I'm going to have to ask the guy who sold me the bees about that and see what he thinks.